Okay, welcome to ESPN Cricinfo The Buzz. And I've got our so-called self-proclaimed experts here. That's what people have called us in the comments, okay? Shresh Shah, Rana Kapoor and Karthik Iyer. And we are going to be now discussing, or we're going to be ranking rather, the IPL's best ever openers.
There are a few other words in the comments which you'll have to bleep out if you say them.
Is this your first exposure to hateful comments?
I've read all of the comments
Please come.
on the previous Buzz video.
It's there in my diary.
Now I'm wondering if, since I've said self-proclaimed, now we are self-proclaimed experts. Anyway, I've got 8 names, and coming up with these 8 names itself was like a 2-3 day discussion that happened behind the scenes over email. Ronak was calling people in high places saying, what do you think of this person?
That's true, but let's also establish our credentials. That list was being compiled by the likes of Siddharth Monga. And
and by deep stats.
So
I got a message from Cyrus Brocha. Suddenly he just messaged me one word, Uttappa. He heard somehow that we were having this discussion.
But I'm trying to establish credentials by saying Monga, and you've brought in Cyrus. Cyrus, sorry, I love you, but yeah.
Anyway, let's start. Joss Butler, some 2,800 runs in the IPL, very high strike rate, almost 150 strike rate, average of 40. Where do you guys think he ranks in the top 8?
I mean, Butler is one of the all-time great openers, and also I think we saw the power of Butler, the opener, at its best in this tournament. Everything but a title.
Anywhere below 1 or 2, I would put him.
I mean, there's one season he single-handedly took RR to the playoffs.
Yeah, 2022 it was just like one of the best IPL seasons for anyone.
4 centuries? 3 or 4 centuries?
Yeah, something like that. Almost.
See, I think it's very clear that the top 2 spots will go. So he's competing for somewhere in the middle.
4 for now and just see.
Yeah, let's see.
Let's put him 4. Obviously, incredible stats. Big season in 2022. Then KL Rahul.
Oh, this will be a debate.
Highest average over 50. Strike rate is also not that bad, 137. The only thing about him, only one playoff game that he's played in IPL history. What do you think, Shresh?
I think match-winning innings are also important consideration, not your average or your
He's
strike
played
rate.
them or he's not played them?
So I think he still has a bit more to prove to go above the top.
He's not even been in them. You're saying only one playoff game.
I've learned to kind of empathize with KL Rahul's situation. He's played at a franchise where nobody else was firing. Right, in his Punjab years, like Puran and Maxwell and Miller and all combined together, everyone's gone somewhere else and become match winners and even title winners, except Maxwell. But Rahul at Lucknow came close in the playoff game last time, just fell short. But he is without a doubt in this list for sure. I don't think he fits above Butler. I would say a respectable 5.
I'll tell you, so we have something called Cricinfo impact rating. See, Sambit Bal is now, his ears are pricked up because we said impact rating. Very important, guys. Read about impact rating. In that, KL Rahul has like one of the top 4 impact ever in the IPL.
No, I think it's really it's agenda, it's propaganda that KL Rahul bats slowly.
Who says this? Nobody says this.
You once told me this, I remember. Yeah.
So where do we put him? Should we put him below Butler?
Ronak is right.
I think a respectable 5 for now.
Okay.
It'll be fun when he goes
just
down.
Because he hasn't won a title, not many playoff games. Kohli.
Right
also
number 1.
Lot of runs.
Not number 1.
No, it's king.
Not number 1.
Not number 1. Okay, fine.
I mean,
which is the next best?
Big season in 2016.
Well, let's remember longevity. When did he start opening though? It wasn't obviously early years.
He played a few innings, but 2015, 16
is when.
And 16 was, that'll never be broken.
Season.
Even though we're seeing 270s and all being scored, I actually don't think that record will be broken for a long time. So
you're saying higher than Butler and Rahul?
3 for sure, because I know my top 2.
Okay, there's going to be some big names. Okay, so now I'm going to do these 2 together because it's Warner and Gill.
So that's your top 2.
Which I think is top 2, let's be honest.
No
now
doubt.
Let's just say who's 1 and who's 2.
I know what I want, so I don't want to hijack the conversation.
I'm not sure if Gale, we can still keep him in the top 2. Only reason being, towards the end of his IPL career, the numbers sort of weren't. He didn't finish as well in the IPL.
He didn't even open towards the end of his IPL
That's
career.
true.
Punjab was batting with 3.
And the fact that he did not open in the IPL as well sort of goes against him towards the end. I know longevity-wise,
Like,
I
a lot of
object.
runs.
That's like the last few seasons, man.
My
But
God.
Gale has to be number 1.
Gale
he's number 1 in impact.
For the
huh?
stats, for the vibe.
You sound like the young fans.
For everything else, I think
He showed what was possible in T20 cricket. When he scored that 180, you're like, nobody thought 200 was possible in ODI cricket. It had just been done, and this guy nearly did it.
Record
in
that still
T20.
stays till today.
Yeah.
I mean, even though the T20 game has moved up.
But then again, Warner.
Yeah, so coming to exactly that, there is very little between these two as far as their IPL impact goes. Gale is a T20 pioneer. and Warner's
Has
longevity
won the title.
outlasts him. But the difference for me is exactly what Karthik said, that Warner took I think in my view, a fairly average or above average team on paper to win and did it against significant
here
odds.
we're just rating
His
only
batting,
on opening.
No, his batting.
Also,
But
but
Warner, you can see the difference Warner with Warner with runs makes, and it was not easy to do it in that franchise. The same reason for KL Rahul, that in a not so strong franchise, he's not had the success, but Warner has, and Gale has.
Don't forget the consistency also. I think he scored 500 runs along with, I think, one more player. 5 seasons in a row, or 4 seasons in a row.
and in that phase,
so
he
I think
was
that phase is
But he
also
was averaging 45.
Hasn't
strike
Warner
rate,
also
145.
batted in the middle order a lot? I remember for Delhi he was in the middle. So
That may be in the beginning.
But they all have in the
main
beginning.
phase was-
Rahul's batted in the
He's
middle.
got
Rahul's
like
batted.
tons of runs. as
Kohli at 3,
opener,
Butler
so
in
that-
the
I'm just
middle.
thinking Gale, it should be right up there.
For
I mean,
me, it's Warner
changed
1,
the
Gale
game.
2.
I would say Gale won. to be honest.
I'm Dustin, I'm
For
on
the
your
impact
side.
that
I
he
think
had.
we once picked an all-time IPL team a couple of years back, and Gale made it.
Like by
ahead
half
of
a
Warner.
vote or something. Shesh, you're the deciding vote. Warner or Gale?
He's not putting Gale in the
He's
A.
putting not Gale in the. He's not putting Gale.
Warner at number 1.
He doesn't have
I
Gale.
think Warner goes to number 1.
So
Wait,
Warner,
right
Warner.
now I'm putting Warner at 1 and Gale at 2, but we'll come back to this, okay, in the end.
Yeah.
Now, Shikhar Dhawan, lot of runs, not a very great strike rate, let's be honest, under 130, but then he also played in a different phase of the IPL. He has quickened up over time. And yeah, what do you think?
I'm thinking right at the bottom we're saying this is still top 8. It's very creditable.
Who's left?
Yeah.
But yeah.
You know who's left. I've sent you the list. You can see.
Let's
There
keep the
is-
suspense.
Yeah, let's keep the
Let's keep the
suspense.
suspense.
I don't feel Shikhar Dhawan just when you say his name, so it has to be at the bottom.
You don't
right
feel
now. No, I don't
Shikhar
feel him. I'm not getting the.
Shikhar's lovely. Again, longevity has to be
Is,
respected
yeah.
because he's done this for so long, and he's played different roles in different teams. Part of the title-winning side for Sunrisers as well with Warner.
With Warner, opening with Warner.
It's a tough one, but for now, I think we'll have to keep him at 8 to see what else.
I'll tell you
pops
something
in.
I was surprised by. Guess how many IPL finals Shikhar
Dhawan's
Dhawan
played.
has played in? Guess.
3,
4.
4. But then in each of
He
those
didn't get many
finals,
runs,
yes.
only one, but then his team reached there.
He struck
which is
it
important,
about
right?
110 in a couple of those finals. I think that's
That's
important.
why I think,
Yeah.
I mean, in comparison to the rest, Dhawan's a wonderful player, but
Yeah, I
comparison
mean,
to the
8
rest,
is still great. It's like 8
are we picking 8 or
best
10?
ever. We're picking 8 and then we'll have some wild cards added at the
Oh,
end.
okay.
Next one, this guy, I'll tell you something
my.
about Virender Sehwag. Not a lot of runs as opener, his average is under 30. But I was looking at something that we call his smart strike rate, which is his strike rate measured against other guys who played in the same games. His smart strike rate is 185. Okay, it got me fumbling even saying smart strike rate because he played on Delhi pitches, which were not easy to bat on in the early years of the IPL, and was still smashing.
So what
it.
you needed to check his smart strike rate to feel like Sehwag?
No, I remember.
What a
I
guy.
remember, but still.
Sehwag is extraordinary.
Yes.
I mean, that was the final, wasn't it? Or the playoff game that took Punjab to the final, their only final in 2014. He's played almost incredible hundreds. And this is before a time where people were really discussing impact strike rates and smart runs. And
I would put him above Kohli.
yeah, so for me, Sehwag takes the top 3 now.
I don't
he
know
goes
about
above
Kohli because even this season Kohli has the orange cap. I mean, for now,
and
Samvid Bal is just dismissing
and
us.
therefore I would say ki you can hold on
Sehwag's
to.
not got that many runs as an opener.
But it makes you feel good. So as an opener, and that's
Yeah,
but the IPL is
is
not
fair, man.
6 is too
of
low.
five,
Even
he's
five
got
might be
like 4,000 runs less than Kohli.
You're
as an
putting him
opener.
below KL Rahul. I mean, no,
We
this
are
is not
trying to
happening.
talk about the impact of an opener, which is beyond just aggregate runs.
he
If it's an orange cap list, let's just put them runs wise.
Yeah.
But these two, Warner and Gale, they ticked all boxes.
Right.
Impact plus the aggregate runs. With Kohli, you have the aggregate runs with a significantly high impact. So I don't mind Kohli 3 and Sehwag 4, but they have to
I'm
be
still
Butler.
petitioning for
Yeah,
Sehwag to be number 3.
I think he's gonna be. I don't know. I don't think we can put him.
Put
in
him
the
at
top
5
4.
then. And
What do you think,
and
Shesh?
I
record
think
my
KL Rahul,
protest.
as I said, still needs a bit more proving to do.
I think you're giving
He has
Shresh
the
too
runs.
many of these deciding votes. I feel.
I think
This is the
some
second
sanity,
time it's going to Shresh.
top 3 for Sehwag. Even he, I think, won't put himself there.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, he's very good.
The
But
IPL also he played in the years which were towards the end of his international career and up to what 14 I
Yeah,
think it
yeah,
was
around
that
that,
he
yeah.
finished.
Played a couple more seasons. I
so
think.
what
but
do we put him? Number 5 at least.
Number 3.
I want him in the top. I want him at 4, but I'm happy for you to.
Let's put him at 5 for now. Then we can debate this one later and see how the board looks overall. We've given Ronak Warner at 1. And so we can skip this one. Last one, Faf. Okay.
It's actually not a bad option.
Yeah, Faf has actually, I saw, he's got, out of all these guys, he's the only one who has 350s in playoff games. So
Including
big
I think,
match
2
player.
finals.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Big match player.
And he's still, I mean, I know we're doing this at a time where RCB have started poorly and Faf's not among the runs, but it's incredible what he managed even in that CSK team.
Yeah.
And he still was their best player last year.
But on this board,
After
lower
being
half,
retired.
right? Lower half of the board.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the perfect vacant position for him.
Number 7, ahead of Shikhar Dhawan. Now, guys, quickly. Are we okay with 1 and 2? Everybody?
I am.
Warner above
I'm
Gale.
happy with that.
I mean, Gale's numbers are incredible. Even
no
after
doubt.
the slowdown.
I mean,
later.
I would put both of them together at 1 if it's allowed.
Okay, fine. So that's like a joint 1. Kohli 3, Butler 4. Sehwag ahead of Rahul. Everyone okay with that?
Yeah, I would go with that.
And
Yeah.
Faf, Karthik wants him here, but
I
we'll keep
wanted
him here.
Sehwag at 3. And yeah,
We'll keep him here. Okay, now I've given everybody the option of also picking a wild card, someone they would have added to this mix, because there were so many names thrown around. There was Rohit Sharma, Mike Hussey, lots of names, but Shresh, who's your wild card?
So my wildcard pick is the 2010 Orange Cap winner, Sachin Tendulkar of Mumbai Indians. He played from 2008 to 2013, and in that period, he was second highest run scorer among all openers, only behind Gale and ahead of Adam Gilchrist.
I will just say in that 2010, in the final, he played 45 balls. That is almost 40% of an innings. He scored 40 odd runs. Just for that knock, I don't think.
I think we can forget Tendulkar
Should be there.
I think it's Sachin, but
and the main thing
nobody
was
say anything.
this tournament was supposed to be a young person's tournament, and he did struggle in 8 and 9 for finding his feet a little bit, battling injury as well. But in 10 and 11 he was third highest run scorer, and so he backed it up with 2 seasons of good performances. And if you remember that time, for any kid, that was like the dream situation, because Sanath and Sachin opening was
Of course, and Sanath has a 45 ball 100 in the IPL.
Yeah.
But Sachin also has 100, which
does.
people
100 not
wanted.
out.
I remember still they wanted that to be the 100th 100.
Yeah, I mean,
they said, can we add? He was such a big impact that they wanted to make IPL stats international stats so that he could have 100th 100.
Justin, you can take your left hand and I feel slightly slide
If
that
Sachin,
off. The
don't
this
you-
is
don't
just,
you
these
think
are not
Sachin
in
would
order.
be there?
These are just all
Yeah, yeah.
here.
He
People
Shresh
can
just
pick.
had a nice
Shresh
memory,
picked.
yeah.
Chalo, now Ronak, you will add this.
I'm going
Who's
second.
yours?
I want to go last.
Is it a CSK player?
It is a CSK
Oh
player.
my God.
I don't mind going second. I've got a kind of a boring wild card.
Yeah, go for
Okay,
it.
okay.
I
Let's
feel
Ronak
this
go.
boring.
Yeah.
Let me take it out.
Let Ronak go last.
Quinton de Kock.
I like
Quinton de
it.
But great
like it.
number.
Great number.
In the
I would,
IPL.
if I had to choose a place on the board, I would put him in place of Faf du Plessis, right there.
Okay.
And I feel one of his most underrated knocks. I don't know if you'll remember the 2019 final. I think Mumbai won by just one run. He started with 4 sixes. He didn't score many more runs in that match, and there were a lot of more heroes. But I feel just for that knock, it was superb. And de Kock strikes at over 135. I think as an opener in the IPL, over 99 innings. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So he's there as a wild
So we'll
card.
keep him here.
But I'm fine with even. Faf being in
I'll
the-
give mine also before Ronak. I've gone Shubman Gill.
I like
because
it.
surprisingly.
Yes.
So I had a cutoff of 50 innings, and he's actually played 70
Yes,
plus
he has.
innings. Again, very high impact, very high smart strike rate. And last season, obviously, you saw what he did.
Yep.
2
Already
finals
won a
with
title.
GT.
Yeah.
I mean, ticks all the boxes. By the way, played 10 playoff games already in his IPL
A
career.
few more seasons and Gill will be.
Yeah, higher
I
up
have
the
no
board,
problem
but
actually,
now
but
it
you
is.
know, I think he's actually got more innings than how many has Sehwag had? He might
I
have
think he
actually
has
played
more-
a bit more than
yeah,
Sehwag
he might
also
have, yeah.
by now. So you know, you tend to look at the two, but of course, Sehwag.
we didn't pick him in the top 8 honestly because his career is far from done. So we
Yeah,
felt
yeah.
like putting him in the top 8. He might have been higher by the time.
But that
done,
he's
right?
already
So-
in this list tells you.
Yeah, tells you how good he is already.
For guys who've
Yeah.
all been playing at least for another 5-7 years, maybe more.
Yeah. So now let's go with Ronak. A CSK player, I'm sure.
Murli Vijay.
Murli Vijay.
Murli Vijay. No, don't laugh.
I'm just putting it
So, you know, last IPL, Aaron Finch was sitting in the lounge and he randomly started saying, name underrated IPL players.
Okay.
So people started giving their own picks and Vijay was also sitting there. And he looks the same, by the way, young, dashing, glasses and all that. And I said, him. And they all turned and they gave me a look. So, you know, his peers and the opposition, sounds like a good story. Everyone's into the story.
Man knows ball.
Yeah. So, and now forget the story aside. The guy hit, even to date, what is CSK's fastest 100. He was player of the match in a final. And he just created an identity for CSK that creates the monster that it is today.
Which was that? 2011. I
11
think, right?
against RCB, that
90
too.
odd,
Perfect. Perfect. That's why, you know, with Gale, he also should be there because he's actually won. Gale hasn't and Kohli also hasn't. So I think Murli Vijay is one of the unsung opening bat heroes of the IPL. And for a guy who's actually remembered as a test cricketer, this was
He's
quite
probably
an
unsung
achievement.
there as well.
Nobody's surprised that Sehwag was an impactful IPL player.
That's true. That's
But
true.
I was very surprised, and it wasn't the time where Gill and Dhawan and Kohli all knew, okay, we have to play at this strike rate and all. Vijay was just playing.
You know what? We spoke
His
about
game.
finals. We spoke about Dhawan's numbers in the finals. I feel Vijay can slide over into number 8
Oh
spot.
wow, I'd be thrilled.
I feel there is a
Not a single CSK player in this.
I mean,
Dhawan has the most runs ever
you're not
as
saying-
IPL opener.
yeah,
Okay,
but-
longevity
I mean,
also matters.
also Michael Hussey and him forged a really.
I was surprised he didn't go Hussey, but anyway. Ronak has done his duty. He's picked an CSK players. Guys, now please in the comments say everything is about CSK. Ronak makes everything about CSK. But I think this list, it looks pretty good. Obviously, there are some big names missing. There
हो
are players.
एक सेकंड आम्ही मुंबईमध्ये बसलाय आणि मुंबईचा राजा नाहीये डिस्कस पण नाही
was not
केला
my- I had
Where
Rohit
is
in
Rohit
my
Sharma?
top
This is not ending before it's unacceptable. I understand he batted a few finals at number 3 and number 4
He's
but
played across positions. This is only openers. And it's not including captaincy, where Rohit would be
Upsets
top
me.
2. He is his numbers as opener specifically are not as good as these other players.
I'd certainly put Rohit over. Sorry, sir, but
Rohit over Sachin.
Over
I'm
Tendulkar.
going with that.
You heard it here first.
Anyway, now you've given people things to say.
A
Anyway,
couple of players who also I think deserve shout-outs, close to my heart, are both Uthappa and Gambhir.
Yes.
Of course, they won
Of course,
championships.
of course.
And I mean, if you're getting Dhawan and Faf in this list, I think those two could also have been
you're
considered.
just saying that because we put Gill and you guys lost him, okay? Shresh is a KKR fan. This was your best opener ever, who you gave away.
But they've now found new Gill, na? That Angrish Raghuvanshi is. They already had a Gill, so they let this.
Okay, anyway, this is our list, guys. Please be gentle on us. We don't claim to be experts. We are not self-proclaimed experts.
Yeah, three of
we are
them
just,
aren't.
we are just nobodies, okay? So just don't take the list seriously and you give us your
He's
list.
really affected by the comments.
Come, I'll tell you how to
I
handle
need
this.
therapy now.
Yeah, come.